Home is Here on PBS Hawaiʻi is sponsored by Hawaii Leadership Forum, HEI, the Olson Trust, and Peisha Hawaii.
Yoza fell in love with music at a very early age. That love took her across the country while earning critical acclaim and recognition. But offstage, she was navigating deeply personal challenges that pushed her to her limits. Through it all, she found a path to healing, one that continues to shape her life and her music.
My name is Yoza, and that's who I am. I was born and raised in Kapahulu. My upbringing was really great. I mean, I had very supportive parents. I started playing music at a very young age. I would just practice and practice, and I didn't see it as practice. I just saw it as doing something fun for me. I remember playing, and there are certain tones and sounds or series of notes that I would actually cry, because it was so beautiful. Like, I feel like crying now thinking about that moment. Like, music is this thing that you can transport into any moment of your life. It can make you happy, it can make you sad, it can catapult you into a different emotion. And I think that's just amazing. I didn't realize at a young age that I have severe panic disorder, which led into compulsive hair pulling disorder, but I didn't understand what it was. So I went through a lot of stress in elementary school, but none of it was situational. Like, my life from a surface was really great. It was untreated. I didn't know, why can't I handle it? Like, why can't I handle, I thought everybody felt like that, but they could just handle it. Every year I would, play for Brown Bags to Stardom, and I did saxophone in a ska group, I did ukulele, I did guitar. For the last one, I did a solo, just me on my guitar. For me, it was major. Now, if you're by yourself in front of your entire school, right, and you're playing by yourself, that's when you don't know until you're in that situation. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna rock it, And then once I was in that situation, my hands were like this. Like, my hands were shaking, my voice was shaking, I was really but I did as well as I could. It was incredibly, shockingly frustrating because I knew what I was capable of doing and I wanted to show the world. But when it came down to it and I would be in front of people, I just couldn't do it physically. Like, my hearing would get kind of cloudy and my vision would be kind of like blurred on the side, like dark. One night, everybody was drinking because everybody that I hung out with was much older than me. And so they introduced me to alcohol, and then I drank and I went in there and I was like, no inhibitions. It was just like all those voices that were like, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. They all went away, I suddenly didn't have a fear of what people were gonna think. Immediately, I was hooked. Like, the first time that I ever drank, I was like, I need to do this again, like, immediately. And so it also carried over into my music. And it was to the point where I was like, there's no way that I will ever play sober. I've always wanted to feel regular and be able to kill it on stage in front of people. So why would I not? I got a full scholarship, a music scholarship to Hawaii Pacific University, and I blew it because I just was, drinking and couldn't make it to class on time, or I'd make it to class totally wasted, and it just robbed me of my musical career. I met a guy who started dealing drugs, and he wasn't gonna tell me to stop, and so We both together lived on the floor of an arcade in Kailua for a while. We dealt drugs, and I just kept on going. I kept on drinking and using, and it eventually led into me living in my car, crashing my car, and living in the park. At some point, I decided to seek treatment, and so I went to Hinamauka. I just did everything that I was told to do. I didn't realize at the time that that willingness that I had to get clean wouldn't always be there. And so I kept on relapsing and kept on relapsing, and I refused to stop working.
This is actually like the first song that I thought came out alright. So I hate all of my own. Gotta play them anyway. I gave you all my love, gave it back to me. You said with me was not who you really wanted to be.
I released my first album, and it won the Nā Hōkū Award for the Best R&B Album of the Year.
What a funny space I'm in. Feel like I'm going insane. Is a crazy situation I'm in.
At that point, I had been in and out of treatment. Then I met Uncle Willie K. And so he really believed in me. And so he started working with me extensively, and we started playing the same shows together. He would take me around to play in LA and San Diego and everything, and so I would open for his shows. And then he connected me to my next producer. I released my second album. That one was up for Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Female Vocalist of the Year, and Contemporary Album of the Year.
You're bringing me down. Just won't be pushed around. 'Cause I ain't your Frankenstein. I was born finally below.
And I don't even remember. Like, I sang on stage at the Hōkūs and stuff. I don't remember any of it.
Save your time and energy. As you see, I think too much. Waste my life and stuff and leave me alone.
It was just nonstop, just like getting a couple months here, a couple months there, and then relapsing and relapsing, relapsing. And I had still untreated panic disorder, so I was trying to play these gigs with no source of medication.
Just to show how imperfect I am, bringing me down. I don't wanna be around. I don't see where you come from.
I was so tired. I was so tired, so sick of it already. I was sick of what I was doing to my family. I was sick of just the relapses. I was so sick of it. I wanted to live a life worth living. I had to detox at Castle Medical. Literally, I walked in there and I said, please take me in. And I dropped to my knees crying. And I said, please, I'm gonna die. My mom flew in. She said, I will sell my house to send you to treatment. And without hesitation, I said, yes, let's go. And she said, okay, we can leave in a couple days. And I said, no, we have to leave now. And because I didn't want to change my mind. I didn't want anything to affect my thinking at that point. I wanted to go. They gave me a psychiatrist, and they identified finally what I had, because they said that what I was having clearly was a panic attack. That I went through several medications that I didn't like, and then they finally hit one that, and since that moment that I've been on that medication, I have not had a full-blown panic attack. And I'm still clean and sober. I'm so proud of myself because I can say that today. Because I was so disgusted with myself since I was a kid, that today when I can say something good about myself, it's like a major accomplishment. So I consider myself a super mom. And I work full-time as a musician. Sometimes I play in the morning at the hotels in Waikiki, and then I'll play again at night after putting my kids to sleep. And I also sponsor women, and I'll talk to them on a weekly basis. And then I have my own regimen for my spiritual program. It keeps me pretty busy, and but I love it.
It was a good day to run away, so I flew. Friends slowly diminishing, no jobs to say. Any place is better than here, so I flew to LA. But no matter where you go, that's where you are, is what they say. Well, now that I had left that place and I'm here alone, I'm finding that I'm just a girl without a home.
Mahalo nui for joining us. If you would like to support PBS Hawaii's mission to share stories that connect us, head over to pbshawaii.org and click on the Donate Now button. For Home is Here, I'm Kala'i Miller. Ahui ho.